What kind of person threatens to take your child away just to watch you suffer? What kind of person humiliates, manipulates, and scares you and then feels absolutely nothing? In this episode, we're diving into the narcissist's cruelest weapon of all, the kind that cuts so deep it leaves no trace of remorse. Hi, I'm Kyle Hackley, attorney and author of Undercurrent. Let's get started talking about narcissistic cruelty. It's not the kind you can even see coming. It's not the obvious kind. It's the cruelty that comes wrapped in calm tones and calculated threats. It's the kind that just leaves you shaking while they walk away like nothing ever happened. And the most devastating part, there's no apology, no regret, no remorse. If you've ever been on the receiving end of someone's deliberate pain, then watched them shrug it off like you didn't matter at all. If you see yourself in any part of this, please continue listening because I want you to see that you do matter. Now, as we go deeper, let's take a deep breath, and we have to frame this gently because our discussion might touch a nerve because it's so personal. We're talking about what it means to be hurt by someone who doesn't even flinch when you break, someone who can wound you, threaten you, terrify you, and then carry on like you deserve it. And the pain that it causes, it lingers long after the moment is over because our hearts aren't built to understand cruelty. They're not built to understand that kind of pain without remorse. So why are narcissists so cruel? It starts with how they see the world and how they see you. Narcissists live in a world of extremes, black or white, all good or all bad. You're either useful to them or you're disposable. This non-binary mindset gives them the illusion of control. And because they carry so much internal rage, shame, and emptiness, they need someone to put it on. So they aim it at you. They mock you, insult you, tear down your confidence, and then tell you you're overreacting. They don't want to connect. They just want to dominate. And cruelty gives them exactly what they need to do that. It gives them what they crave, and that's power and control. But the cruelty doesn't stop at what they do. It continues in what they don't do. They don't apologize. They don't flinch because they don't care. You can be sobbing right in front of them, and what are they going to do? They're going to just stare back coldly, or even worse, they're going to laugh or smirk. And when you try to talk about your pain, they dismiss it, blame you, or just twist the narrative. Does that sound familiar? Because their heart is calloused and they probably and most likely don't even know it because in their mind, they're always right. And that's what makes trauma so insidious. You were hurt, then abandoned, then hurt again, and it repeats itself over and over. Now, there's a moment in Undercurrent that captures this dynamic. Annie is finally stepping into her own life. She's built a career that she loves, and she's finding her own footing as a mom on her terms. And then her estranged husband, Santino, shows up with a cruel, calculated threat. What does he do? He tells Annie that unless she gives up everything, her career, her independence, her future, and return to the marital home, he's going to file for full custody of their little girl. Now, when he's talking to her, he speaks with such icy control, no emotion, no empathy, just superiority. And the most heartbreaking part, he doesn't want custody of that child. He doesn't even want Annie back. He just wants to scare her, and he knows, and she knows he's got the money to hire a lawyer and follow through on his threat. What he wants to really remind Annie of is that he can still dominate her life. That's cruelty without remorse. That's emotional abuse in the form of a custody threat. and it's a story too many people know firsthand. And here's where it gets even more twisted. When you react, when you cry, plead, or even yell, you know what? They win, because what they're looking for is that reaction from you. It gives them their fuel. The narcissist doesn't care if your reaction is showing that you're in pain or you're afraid or rage, whatever it might be. They just want to feel that they still matter, that they still have the power to affect you. That reaction then becomes their reward. So your suffering becomes their satisfaction. And that's why they don't stop. When somebody hurts you and doesn't care, it does more than bruise your heart. It fractures your sense of self. You start believing that you're not worthy of comfort, that your emotions are too much, that maybe you deserved it. But what the narcissist cruelty does, it doesn't just leave wounds. It convinces you that you're the one at fault. But I'm here to tell you otherwise, because you were never too much in your reaction. You were never too sensitive. You were being harmed. And in the absence of remorse, that part was harmful too, maybe even more so. So if no one has told you this before or recently, I'm going to tell you now. You deserve love that is safe, love that is soft, love that makes room for your pain and stays to hold it. You deserve apologies that are backed by change. You deserve healing that begins with truth. And you are not alone. If you see any part of yourself in Annie's story, no, you are part of a community that sees you, believes you, and is walking beside you into something better. Now, I want to talk to you for a moment about something that can make a difference in your healing journey. That's support groups. Healing from narcissistic abuse is hard enough. Doing it alone can make it even harder. Finding safe, validating spaces where your story is heard, believed, and supported can be life-changing. That said, especially with online groups, it's important for you to do your research. Make sure that any group you're considering is credible, confidential, and trauma-informed. One support group that I found especially helpful is Women Empowering Women Support Groups. UEW Support Groups offers nationwide Zoom-based support for women healing from many types of trauma, including narcissistic abuse. This is not an advertisement or a sponsorship. It's simply a resource I trust and believe in, and so I want to share it with you. If you would like to explore Women Empowering Women Support Groups or learn how to get involved, you can visit their website, and that's at nextstepuew.org. There you will find information on how to join, when meetings are held, and how to access tools that can support your healing. I'm also going to continue to share other resources as I come across them, including those for men, because abuse doesn't discriminate and everyone needs support that's safe. Thank you for joining me today. If this episode spoke to you, I hope you'll share it with someone who very well may need to hear it. I hope you follow this podcast, leave a comment, or just reach out and say hello. And remember, what happened to you was not your fault. That cruelty you endured wasn't a reflection of your worth, but of the narcissist emptiness. And now you can start writing a new story because you are stronger than you ever knew. I want you to be tenacious and never give up on what's important to you. Thank you for being a part of this journey. I'll see you next time. Thank you.